If you're not familiar with it, Snapchat is just a harmless app, right? A little something people download for free on their phones, so they can share snippets of their lives, pictures, videos, fleeting moments, gone in seconds. But sometimes, things that vanish quickly can leave an unsettling mark. With the new Snap Map feature, you can even track your friends, see where they are, what they're doing. It's supposed to make you feel connected, safe even. I never used Snapchat much myself. Just had it installed to keep tabs on friends, maybe send the occasional picture of my lunch or a quick hello to my close circle. Normal stuff. That was until last Wednesday night. That night, things stopped feeling normal. I was in my room, hunched over my desk, books scattered everywhere, cramming for a midterm. My apartment, small but cozy, was silent except for the occasional creak from the old floorboards. It's close to campus, within walking distance, which is perfect for someone like me, a junior in college who values their privacy, living alone after swearing off roommates years ago. It's the kind of quiet that's comforting, until it isn't. It started with a ping. A Snapchat notification. I glanced at my phone. 3 snaps from an unfamiliar username. I mainly snap with a tight-knit group of friends, and I know their usernames by heart. This one was different. Foreign. Now I've heard stories of people getting strange snaps from unknown senders. I used to brush those off, thinking, that won't happen to me. I was wrong. I should have deleted them, blocked the user right then and there. But curiosity is a funny thing. It pulls at you, drags you in when you know better. So I opened them. I wish I hadn't. The first snap seemed innocent enough, a picture of grass. But there was something wrong, too close, too grainy. Like whoever took it was lying in the grass, staring down at it. No context. No location, just grass. The second snap was when things took a darker turn. A video, the screen completely black, as if the camera was covered. But that wasn't what unnerved me. No, it was the sound, a whisper. Garbled, distorted, as if someone was too close to the microphone, their breath heavy and thick, words jumbled in a way that made no sense, but sent a shiver crawling up my spine. And then, the third snap, the one that stopped my heart cold. It was a picture of a door. But not just any door, it was my door. The front door of my apartment building, the entrance everyone uses to get in and out. They were close. Too close. I stared at the image, fingers trembling as I switched to Snapchat's messaging feature and typed, "Who are you?" Seconds passed before the app showed they'd read it. But there was no response, just silence. I waited, holding my breath, but nothing came. After what felt like an eternity, I shut off my phone and glanced out the window, peering into the darkness below. Nothing but the streetlights casting eerie shadows, no figures lurking, no sign of anyone. I should have felt relieved, but I didn't. Eventually, I went back to my studies, trying to push the whole thing from my mind. Days passed. I had midterms, deadlines, the usual grind that makes you forget the strange things lurking at the edges of your life. But then, last night, Monday night, more snaps came. And this time, I knew whoever was sending them was no stranger. They were watching, closer than ever. And I couldn't shake the feeling that, this time, they weren't just watching, they were waiting. I was flipping through the pages of my English textbook, trying to focus on the upcoming exam, when my phone buzzed 2 notifications from Snapchat. My stomach twisted. The same mysterious sender from last week had sent me more snaps. I wish I could tell you I was smart enough to take screenshots, to gather some evidence, but in the moment, it didn't even cross my mind. I've regretted it ever since. The first snap? Eerily familiar. Like the one from last week, the one with the whispering. Only this time, the whispering was faster, more frantic. Excited even. It felt like the sender was closer, too close. But it was the second snap that froze me in my chair. At first, I didn't quite understand what I was looking at. It was a picture, a doorframe barely illuminated by a faint light spilling in from a room. The person taking the snap stood in the hallway, shadowed, phone raised. I could make out just enough to see furniture in the room, a bed, a dresser. And then I saw it, my Superman figure. It hit me like ice down my spine. I was staring at a picture of my own room. I felt the hair on the back of my neck rise as a wave of dread washed over me. I always leave my bedroom door open. Slowly, as if any sudden movement would draw attention, I turned around, half expecting something to be standing in the doorway, watching. But there was no one. The hallway was empty. Heart pounding, I stood up from my desk and crept toward the door. I peeked out into the rest of my apartment. Silence. Nothing unusual. But that only made it worse. The absence of any sign of intrusion unnerved me more than if I had found someone lurking. Then, my phone vibrated in my hand. I hadn't even realized I was gripping it so tightly. Another snap from the mysterious sender. My fingers shook as I opened it. Another video, dark and obscured like before, but this time the whispering was louder. It echoed through my apartment, filling every corner with its eerie cadence. It was as though the whispers themselves were inside the walls, watching me ... I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I sat on my bed, every light in my apartment on, gripping a kitchen knife in one hand, my phone in the other. But nothing else happened. The silence felt more oppressive than ever. Now it's Tuesday. I haven't received another snap, and nothing out of the ordinary has happened since Monday. But that gnawing fear lingers. How did they get my Snapchat? How did they know where I live? And if that last snap was really taken inside my apartment, does that mean they can come back anytime? I keep the key to my apartment on me at all times. The spare key is always locked in my desk drawer, untouched. So how? How did they get in? I told one of my close friends about what happened. He offered to let me stay with him for a few days, just in case the mysterious sender comes back. But I don't know. I feel trapped, waiting, constantly looking over my shoulder. If anyone has any advice on what to do next, I'm open to it. I just want to get to the bottom of this before it gets worse. I keep the key to my apartment on me at all times. The spare key is always locked in my desk drawer, untouched. So how? How did they get in? I told one of my close friends about what happened. He offered to let me stay with him for a few days, just in case the mysterious sender comes back. But I don't know. I feel trapped, waiting, constantly looking over my shoulder. If anyone has any advice on what to do next, I'm open to it. I just want to get to the bottom of this before it gets worse. But deep down, something felt way off. More messages followed, each one creepier than the last. They started flooding my inbox full of spam and malicious links. The kind that made your skin crawl, as if they weren't meant to just infect your computer, but something deeper. It was two of my friends were fast asleep, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. I woke them up, and they looked at me with confusion, half expecting me to be the one playing a joke. But once I showed them the flood of messages, the unease in the room became palpable. "Check your Snapchat," one of them said, their voice uneasy. I hadn't even thought of it. Who could possibly send something there? Only my closest friends had my Snapchat. When I opened it, my heart stopped. 30 new messages. All from the same name, Green Ramen. The photos time-stamped only minutes ago were of our house. At first, they were distant, like someone was taking them from across the street. But as we swiped through, the photos got closer. Closer to the windows, closer to where we were sitting. Then the last one, it showed me. Sitting at my computer, scrolling through the emails, oblivious. We all froze. Panic gripped us. Then, the final message arrived, a real-time photo of us, staring at the screen, with a caption, "Please open the door for me." We didn't even hesitate. We bolted out the back, scrambling into my Prius. My hands shook as I slammed on the gas. though it felt more like a slow crawl for a Prius in that moment of terror. One of my friends dialed the police while we sped down the highway. I kept checking the rearview mirror, half expecting to see someone following. Then, just as I thought we'd escaped, I got one last Snapchat, a side photo of our car on the highway. The caption read, "You can't escape me that easily." We pulled into a diner a mile away, shaking and breathless, waiting for the police to arrive. When they did, they took my phone and computer, trying to trace the messages. But the IPs? They were masked by a proxy, just like mine. I moved out of that townhouse soon after, but I still get chills thinking about that night. I never found out who Green Ramen was. I never saw any sign of them again. But sometimes, in the dead of night, I wonder if they're still watching, still waiting. That night was the most terrifying of my life. And if it happens again, I don't think I'll be so lucky to get away. It all started innocently enough. The text popped up on my screen after a random chat on Omegle. Hit me up on Snapchat, my username Sasha247. I wasn't expecting much, but I pulled out my phone, added her, and waited. As soon as I hit send, the call on Omegle abruptly disconnected. Weird, but whatever. I sent her a quick snap saying, "What's up?" Just out on Omegle, and went back to watching Netflix. It was around 1:30 in the morning, and everything seemed normal. Until it wasn't. At 2 a.m. I got a reply. It was her. The snap was a picture of her driving, captioned, "On my way." I blinked at the screen, not really sure what to make of it. Just for kicks, I replied with a casual, "Be safe, hello," then set my phone down and drifted off to sleep, thinking nothing of it. The next morning, I woke up groggy and reached for my phone, scrolling through my notifications. What I found, though, was far from normal. It was pure horror. The first snap from her was just another picture of her driving. A little weird, maybe, but nothing alarming. But as I opened the next one, a cold dread settled over me, ... It was a shot of her car at a stoplight. The camera angled just enough to show a Walmart in the background next to a gym. My heart skipped a beat. That same Walmart and gym were just a few miles from my house. I sat up wide awake now, my mind racing. Who was this girl? Why was she near my place? I hesitated before opening the next snap, but curiosity and fear got the best of me. It was a picture of her car turning into my neighborhood, the caption chilling. "Get ready." I froze. She was close, too close. My hands were trembling as I opened the final snap. It was a 10-second video of my house. She was filming my house. That was the last snap I received from her. I immediately called the police, still shaking, praying that it was some kind of twisted joke, but deep down, I wasn't sure. The whole thing felt too real, too deliberate. Now, every time I glance at my phone, I brace myself for another message, another snap. But none have come. Not yet. I don't know if she's still out there, watching, waiting. I can only hope this nightmare is over. I'll keep you updated if anything happens, but honestly, I really hope I won't have to.